Page 43. When is a person too young? The I am too young variety of age excuses does much damage too. About a year ago, a 23-year-old fellow named Jerry came to me with a problem. Jerry was a fine young man. He had been paratrooper in the service and then had gone to college. While going to college, Jerry supported his wife and son by selling for a large transfer and storage company. He had done a terrific job, both in college and for his company. But today, Jerry was worried. Dr. Schwartz, he said, I've got a problem. My company has offered me the job of sales manager. This would make me supervisor over 8 salesmen. Congratulations, that's a wonderful news, I said. But you seem worried. Well, he continued, all 8 men I'm to supervise are from 7 to 21 years older than I. What do you think I should do? Can I handle it? Jerry, I said, the general manager of your company obviously thinks you are old enough or he would not have offered you this job. Just remember these 3 points and everything will work out just fine. First, don't be age conscious. Back on the farm, a boy became a man when he proved he could do the work of a man. His number of birthdays had nothing to do with it. And this applies to you. When you prove you are able to handle the job of a sales manager, you are automatically old enough. Second, don't take advantage of your new gold bars. Show respect for the salesmen. Ask them for their suggestions. Make them feel they are working for a team captain, not a dictator. Do this, and the men will work with you, not against you. Third, get used to having older persons working for you. Leaders in all fields soon find they are younger than many of the people they supervise. So, get used to having older men work for you. It will help you a lot in the coming years when even bigger opportunities develop. And remember, Jerry, your age won't be a handicap unless you make it one. Today, Jerry is doing fine. He loves the transportation business and now he's planning to organize his own company in a few years. Youth is a liability only when the youth thinks it is. You often hear that certain jobs require considerable physical maturity, jobs like selling securities and insurance, that you've got to have either gray hair or no hair at all in order to gain an investor's confidence is plain nonsense. What really matters is how well you know your job. If you know your job and understand people, you are sufficiently mature to handle it. Age has no real relation to ability, unless you convince yourself that years alone will give you the stuff you need to make your mark. Many young people feel that they are being held back because of their youth. Now, it is true that another person in an organization who is insecure and job scared may try to block your way forward using age or some other reason. But the people who really count in the company will not. They will give you as much responsibility as they feel you can handle well. Demonstrate that you have ability and positive attitudes, and your youthfulness will be considered an advantage. In a quick recap, the curse of age executives is look at your present age positively, think I'm still young, not I'm already old. Practice looking forward to new horizons and gain the enthusiasm and the feel of the youth. Number two, compute how much productive time you have left. Remember, a person aged 30 still has 80% of his productive life ahead of him, and the 50-year-old has a big 40%, the best 40% of his opportunity years left. Life is actually longer than most people think. Invest future time in doing what you really want to do. It's too late only when you let your mind go negative and think it's too late. Stop thinking. I should have started years ago. That's failure thinking. Instead, think, I'm going to start now. My best years are ahead of me. That's a successful. That's the way successful people think. Number four, but my case is different. I attract bad luck. Recently, I heard a traffic engineer discuss highway safety. He pointed out that upward of 40,000 persons are killed each year in so called traffic accidents. The main point of his talk was that there is no such thing as a true accident. What we call an accident is the result of human or mechanical failure or a combination of both. What is this traffic expert was saying substantiates what wise men throughout the ages have said. There is a cause for everything. Nothing happens without a cause. There is nothing accidental about the weather outside today. It is a result of specific causes, and there is no reason to believe that human affairs are an exception. Yet hardly a day passes that you don't hear someone blame his problems on bad luck. And it's a rare day that you do not hear someone attribute another person's success to good luck. Let me illustrate how people succumb to luck excuse it is. I lunched recently with three young junior executives. The topic of conversation that day was George C., who just yesterday had been picked from among their group for a major promotion. Why did George get the position? These three fellows dug up all sorts of reasons luck, pull, bootlicking, everything but the truth. The facts were that George was simply better qualified. He had been doing a great job. He was working harder. He had more effective personality. I also knew that the senior officers in the company had spent much time considering which one of the four would be promoted. My three disillusioned friends would have realized that top executives don't select major executives by drawing names from a hat. I was talking about the seriousness of luck executives not long ago with the sales executive of a machine tool manufacturing company. He became excited about the problem and began to talk about his own experience with it. I've never heard it called that before, he said, but it is one of the most difficult problems every sales executive has to wrestle with. Just yesterday, a perfect example of what you are talking about happened in my company. One of the salesmen walked in about 4 o'clock with a $112,000 order for machine tools. Another salesman whose volume is so low he's a problem was in the office at the time. Hearing John tell the good news, he rather enviously congratulated him and then said, "Well, John, you are lucky again." Now, what the weak salesman won't accept is that luck had nothing to do with the John's big order. John had been working on that customer for months. He had talked repeatedly to half a dozen people out there. John had stayed up nights figuring out exactly what was best for them. Then he got our engineers to make preliminary designs of the equipment. John was not lucky, unless you can call carefully planned work and patiently executed plans luck. Suppose luck were used to reorganize General Motors. If luck determined who does what and who goes where, every business in the nation would fall apart. Assume for a moment that General Motors were to be completely reorganized on the basis of luck. To carry out reorganization, the names of all the employees would be placed in a barrel. The first name drawn would be president, the second name the executive vice president, and so on down the line. Sounds stupid, doesn't it? Well, that's how luck would work. People who rise to the top in any occupation, business management, selling, law, engineering, acting, or what have you, get there because they have superior attitudes and use their good sense in applied hard work. Conquer luck questions in two ways. Accept the law of cause and effect. Take a second look at what appears to be someone's good luck. You will find that no luck but preparation, planning, and success producing thinking preceded his good fortune. Take a second look at what appears to be someone's bad luck. Look and you will discover certain specific reasons. Mr. Success receives a setback, he learns and profits, but when Mr. Mediocre loses, he fails to learn. Don't be a wishful thinker. Don't be a wishful thinker. Don't waste your mental muscles dreaming of an effortless ways to win success. We don't become successful simply through luck. Success comes from doing those things and mastering those principles that produces success. Don't count on luck for promotions, victories, the good things in life. Luck simply is not designed to deliver those good things. Instead, just concentrate on developing those qualities in yourself that will make you a winner. Chapter 3: Build confidence and destroy fear. Friends mean well then when they say it's only your imagination, don't worry, there's nothing to be afraid of. But you and I know this kind of fear medicine never really works. Such smoothing remarks may give us fear relief for a few minutes or maybe even a few hours, but the it's only in your imagination treatment does not really build confidence and cure fear. Yes, fear is real, and we must recognize it exists before we can conquer it. Most fear today is psychological. Worry, tension, embarrassment, panic all stem from mismanaged negative imagination. But simply knowing the breeding ground of fear does not cure fear. If a physician discovers you have an infection in some part of your body, he does not stop there. He proceeds with treatment to cure the infection. The old "it is only in your mind" treatment presumes fear does not really exist, but it does. Fear is real. Fear is success enemy number one. Fear stops people from capitalizing on opportunity. Fear wears down physical vitality. Fear actually makes people sick, causes organic difficulties, shorten life. Fear closes your mouth when you want to speak. Fear, uncertainty, lack of confidence explains why we still have economic recessions. Fear explains why millions of people accomplish little and enjoy little. Truly, fear is a powerful force. In one way or another, fear prevents people from getting what they want from life. Fear of all kinds and sizes is a form of psychological infection. We can cure a mental infection the same way we cure a body infection with specific proved treatments. First, though, as a part of a pre treatment preparation, condition yourself with this fact: all confidence is acquired, developed. No one is born with confidence. Those people you know who radiate confidence, who have conquered worry, who are at ease everywhere and all time, acquired their confidence, every bit of it. You can too. This chapter shows how. During the World War II, the Navy made sure that all of its new recruits either knew how to swim or learned how. The idea being, of course, that the ability to swim might someday save the sailor's life at sea. Non swimming recruits were put into swimming classes. I watched a number of these training experiences. In a superficial sort of way, it was assuming to see young. It was amusing to see young, healthy men terrified by a few feet of water. One of the exercises I recall required the new sailor to jump, not dive, from a boat 6 feet in the air into 8 or more feet of water while a half dozen expert swimmers stood by. In a deeper sense, it was a sad sight. The fear those young men displayed was real, yet all that stood between them and the defeat of that fear was one drop into water below. On more than one occasion, I saw young men accidentally pushed off the board. The result, fear defeated. This incident, familiar to thousands of former Navy men, illustrates just one point. Action cures fear. Indecision, postponement, on the other hand, fertilize fear. Action cures fear. Jot that down in a success rule book right now. Action cures fear. Action does cure fear. Several months ago, a very troubled executive in his early 40s came to see me. He had a responsible job as a buyer for a large retailing organization. Worriedly, he explained, I'm afraid of losing my job. I've got that feeling that my days are numbered. Why? I asked. Well, the pattern is against me. Sales figure in my department are off 7% from a year ago. This is pretty bad, especially since the store's total sales are up by 6%. I've made a couple of unwise decisions recently and I have been singled out several times by the merchandise manager for not keeping pace with the company's progression. And I have never felt quite like this before. He continued, I've lost my grip and it shows. My assistant buyer senses it. The salespeople see it too. Other executives, of course, are aware that I am slipping. One buyer even suggested that at a meeting of all head buyers the other day that part of my line should be put in his department where he said it could make money for the store. It is like drowning and having a crowd of spectators just standing there waiting for me to sink away. The executive talked on, elaborating further on his predicament. Finally, I cut in and asked, what are you doing about it? What are you trying to do correct the situation? Well, he answered, there is not much I can do, I guess, but the hope for the best. To this comment, I asked, honestly, now is hope enough? Pausing but not giving him a chance to answer, I put another question to him, why not take action to support your hope? Go on, he said.